anything. It's being recorded. Yeah, so we're recording. So let's see who all's here. I see somebody's head there. Hi, Virginia. See, if I'd have to say hair up, ladies, uniforms on, but you're not on campus. Hello, good evening, Ashley. Hello, iPhone. I'm on. Yes, let's see. Hi, there you are, Alexis. Right?
Yes.
The one assignment that I'm going to have y'all do, y'all know something you've discovered already is you're always going to have more work than you can do in a class period. Why is that? Because I've been a pharmacist 30 years, I've been teaching 7 years. In a classroom, you're going to have a few students that finish things just lightning speed. And then they're starving. They're like, what's next? What's next? And so I always have to have things prepared and ready so that I can keep people busy. In a classroom setting, though, it's different than online because in the classroom, I can see immediately, everybody's like, Dr. Puryear, you have got to slow down. This is too much. Well, then I'm able to see that. Next class, like after this one's finished, your math finishes on Monday. Pharmacology finishes on Tuesday. Once that's finished, we start pharmacy law and pharmacy ethics. Y'all are going to each be doing 2 presentations, one for each course. And I've had students, they'll make a handout that goes with their presentation. And it's a beautiful presentation and it's a simple handout. I'm writing as fast as I can and I can't keep up with them and I'll tell them, slow down. So the point is, in a classroom, y'all are able to interject. You're able to say, look, this is going a little bit too fast. Or can you back up a second or something? And we don't have that here. And all we can do is try to learn. Like all of this was kind of thrust upon us. We didn't know we were going to start this whole class out online. And then the faculty, we're learning different things every day. We're even learning how we're supposed to manage the Blackboard every day. And I think one of the most challenging things, and y'all have seen it firsthand, we were putting assignments, and if y'all had an assignment that we were supposed to do during math, it was only available from 5:50 to 6:50. If you didn't do it between those times, it was going to be invisible to you. And so they've reassessed that, and we're going back and we're correcting things. We're doing everything we can to try to help make it fair, try to help make this meaningful education. One thing I'll promise you, this is your first sequence. And I know we're going to be back on campus before y'all complete your sequence. You've got 4 sequences. We do every sequence. So I'm hoping tonight, I'm going to go over a little review. It's a PowerPoint presentation. I've posted it in your resources link in math. And then I'm going to show you additional resources that are available to you. I want you to use. But ironically, I'll tell you, my mom, she's got a doctorate degree in piano and organ pedagogy. She taught for 35 years, has taught at Rice. She watched the math and she was just lost. And so one person might watch it and follow it and say, oh, this is perfect. Another person watches it and just doesn't make any sense of it. But we do have these videos that are in your Navigator Plus for just about everything. So you're able to watch a step-by-step. I'm going to present as well, but I can tell you this is something new to me. Math is extremely difficult to try to teach over online in class. And I'll tell you why. It's because with math, you need to identify at what point a student runs into a roadblock. And once you identify that, then you can figure out say, oh, no, look, this is what you need. Once a student's shown that, then it's easy. But we don't have that mechanism with this online. So again, when Miss Guillory comes on, she's going to tell you like mute your phones. but feel free to unmute your phone and try to say something or wave your hands, catch my attention whenever you want to say something. I will let you guys know. So we're going to have this math introduction. We're going to get to play a game of Kahoot. I invented it myself. And then, but I also know we're really flying through this. It's posted as a link you can watch. But the most important thing, y'all have a final on Monday. And so we have today, tomorrow, and Monday. What we're going to do Monday is the first 2 hours of your class. We'll just be reviewing. I'm going to have questions that are very representative of what you're going to encounter, and we're going to go through them. Then at, I guess, 8 o'clock, y'all will take your break, but then at 8, you're going to take your math final, and we'll be done for the day Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to do just the opposite. We're going to spend the first part of the class. We're going to review. Now, I put an online link in your pharmacology. Many of you have already done it. Bree, did you see that I found your result? So anytime y'all take one of those tests that are online, that's a link, I am able to find your time and date, timestamp. I couldn't find one earlier, and Bree had written, Dr. Prayer, I did it. I know I did it. And so I did look and I found it. So if y'all ever have an assignment that you've turned in and there's anything that's showing up in your grade book that's not right, make sure I know immediately, because especially like after next Tuesday, once you'll have your final, I'll be finalizing grades. I'll wait till Wednesday just in case anybody has anything to talk about the grade book. But when I finalize it, it's virtually impossible to go back and fix. Now, one thing they've done, they have made the finals, they're not worth it. Beforehand, the final, for example, was worth 30%. Now it's worth 15%. They've put more weight on your assignments. A lot of our assignments, you're going to find you either have the opportunity to take them multiple times, or it's a completion grade. And I want to work with y'all too. I don't want y'all to just complete an assignment to complete it. I'm wanting you to learn. And so we're going to be having more lectures, more of the Zoom as I get comfortable, as I get used to. I'm already teaching the law and ethics. So the morning class is a couple of weeks ahead of you guys. But I've done lectures for each of the inventory management and the law. And the things what I had before with the pharmacology, I was just putting it into the internet, it didn't work as well as I had hoped. But what I've done is, in pharmacology, when we talk about it, I have posted a comprehensive, it's like 12 pages. And what it is, it's everything from the whole sequence, this pharmacology, and it's my lecture notes. It's what I use whenever I present, if I was to give a speaking lecture. And you're going to see also when you go online, anything that's in yellow or highlighted, that's something that's especially relevant to your final. More importantly, that link to take the practice test is called the Review of Pharmacology. If you study that, you print it out with the answer key, you're gonna have no problem with the final. So the final is open note for both math and pharmacology. The math final I'm concerned about, because I think even students that are very, very good in math, when it's their first class, it's hard. And so I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed. I will curve, and we're going to go over things, but it might be a shock when y'all take it, because it's like 40 questions, and there's a lot of questions that are not multiple choice. It's a question where you have to enter the answer, and if you make a mistake, like if you leave off MG or just a tiny mistake, you don't get credit for it. Well, I'm going to be able to at least have some flexibility with that, but I will give y'all examples. We will go over that. We're going to have another Zoom tomorrow, so that I want to be able to go over the math so y'all have a chance to study it and think about it over the weekend. Then we're going to go over it again before you take your exam. And then again, with pharmacology, I feel very comfortable. If y'all will just take the time, tonight you're supposed to do 5 drug worksheets. Probably, if you do your 5 drug worksheets, if you can do them as quick when you're done with them, instead of doing more, if you'll go look at those lecture notes and just kind of read through them. I'm going to touch on them tonight. I'm going to go through some of it. but I think you're going to find it covers everything. It's nice and comprehensive. The problem is, whenever we have assignments, our corporate department is saying, okay, assign 10 pages, that's 1 hour. Well, we have one chapter that's 74 pages we're supposed to do in 2 nights. That's apparently it's like 7.5 hours plus assignments. And so it makes it very, very hard. Y'all cover a lot of material. So I want to try to help you identify what you need. Okay, so this right here, this is in your resources. There's a link, but it's conversion equivalence. I'm going to show you there's just 2 different methods. Now, the very most important thing with your conversion equivalence is memorizing your conversion equivalent. Tonight or by tomorrow, I'll post, ordinarily when y'all start, I give you an index card. The index card has on it how many milliliters are in a teaspoon, how many milliliters are in a tablespoon, how many milliliters are in an ounce, how many are in a cup. And then when you flip it over, it has the answers. And I'm gonna make that available to you so you have it when you're taking your test. But you have to memorize those. So raise your hand, how many milligrams are in 1 gram?
Hey, bro.
If you know the answer, how many milligrams are in 1 gram? Do you know? How many milligrams are in 1 gram? Hi, Elena, I see your hand.
Hi.
It's 1 gram. 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. Very good. So some of y'all might not have known it, but it's something it might seem, oh, well, everybody knows that. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it's something you've got to memorize. If you don't memorize it, you'll be able to solve the math problems. If you do memorize it, it's going to make solving the math problems, it'll get to a point where it's almost fun. Elena can tell you she was going to be a math teacher, but we cover a lot of different formulas. But once you learn a formula and once you've memorized the conversion equivalence, then it's like solving a puzzle and it's fun. So here's an example of if you've got 3.4 gram, how many milligrams is that? And so there's more than 2 ways, but I'm going to show you 2 ways to solve it. One way is you've got 3.4 grams, you want to know how many milligrams. Well, underneath, I know that 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. So I can make a proportion. I can put, I've got 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram equals how many milligrams over 3.4 gram. And so you make that proportion and you get the answer, 3,400. There's another way to do it that they call dimensional analysis. That's where we know we've got 3.4 grams. You can multiply anything times 1. So if we put 60 minutes over 1 hour, or 10 dimes over $1, or $1 over 4 quarters, all of those, they equal 1, but they're being expressed using different values. So you can multiply anything times 1 and you're going to get the same answer. How many people we got? So I thought we got Elena, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just missing Catherine and we're missing, okay. All right. Okay, so this method, we're just multiplying 3.4 grams, we're multiplying it times 1. We know that 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram, and when you do it this way, the grams cancel out, and you go across, you're going to get 3,400 milligrams. So you get the very same answer, but one method we used a proportion, one method we used what they call dimensional analysis. So how many milliliters are in 2.4 liters? We know that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So here we just set up a proportion. If there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter, how many milliliters do we have in 2.4? And then we get the answer, 2,400 milliliters. Here we're doing the dimensional analysis where we just multiply 2.4 liter and we're multiplying it times the equivalent of 1. But we're changing the units with 2,400 milliliters. So we've done that with grams to milligrams, liters to milliliters. So let's do it again with liters, 0.254 liters. How many milliliters? So I'll give you just a second. So we just set it up as a proportion. And you get 254 milliliters. If we do it using the dimensional analysis, notice you're going to cross out both the liter and you get the very same answer. And there's actually more ways than this to come up with the correct answer, but these are the two most common. You either set up a proportion or you use the dimensional analysis. So how many grams or milligrams is in 0.4 gram? We know we got 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So how many milligrams do we have in 0.4? So how would we set that up as a proportion? We're going to put 1,000 milligram over 1 gram equals, we don't know how many milligrams over 0.4. So that's the proportion. And you get 400 milligram. But we can do it using dimensional analysis. So we're just, if we know we got 0.4 gram, and just cross multiply 1,000 grams times over 1 gram, and you get the same answer. So now, how many teaspoons are in 1 cup? So this is an example. You're going to have to memorize this. This is something you have to memorize. See, who's the iPhone? I got Melina. And then we know 1 teaspoon's 5 milliliters. So you're going to have to memorize. I'll post it tonight before y'all are done with both classes. But how many teaspoons or how many milliliters are in a teaspoon? How many milliliters are in a tablespoon? How many milliliters are in an ounce? How many milliliters are in a cup? No, Chantel, don't do that. Don't do that. I want to see everybody. There we go. Yeah, I like seeing everybody. And again, unmute.
I was just trying to get my brother to hush. That's the only reason I was doing that.
What's his name? I'll tell him to hush. Okay. Okay, so now this is using the dimensional analysis. We know 1 teaspoon is the same thing as 5 milliliters. We want to get rid of the milliliters and end up with teaspoons. So we put milliliters in the bottom, and then we're going to cross multiply it out, and you get 48 teaspoons. Or you could do it as a proportion. Now, how many teaspoons are in a pint? We're going to do just exactly what we did, but now we've got a pint instead of a cup. So we put 1 pint, the 480 milliliters times 1 teaspoon over 5. Let's see what you guys are getting. And you'll get 96 teaspoons. So you're going to have a whole lot of these throughout the entire program. Even when math is finished, when we're having law, when we're having inventory management, you're going to be having these basic conversion. You'll have pop quizzes frequently. It's much easier to do in class because in class, it'll be the first 5 or 10 minutes of class. It's not easy to do when it's online because when I post a quiz, you know, how long is it going to take you and when do you get to it and just a number of variables. But when y'all are on campus, just know that almost every day there's just going to be a little pop quiz, and it's just to make sure you have memorized how many milliliters are in a teaspoon, how many milliliters are in a tablespoon, an ounce. So how many tablespoons in 1 cup? Well, in this case, we need to know a tablespoon is 15 milliliters. And then guess what? You can put, let's see, 1 tablespoon over 15 milliliters equals a question mark. How many tablespoons and then over 240. So that would be using a proportion. Or you can do this, you can use the dimensional analysis. So 240 times 1 tablespoon over 15 milliliters. The milliliters cancel out and you get 16. So whichever method works for you, I've had a lot of students that prefer using proportions. That's perfectly fine. There's going to be a whole lot of math questions and even dosage calculations where you can use either one of these and whichever one you feel the most comfortable with. How many tablespoons in a pint? We know a pint is 480 milliliters, a tablespoon is 15. So this, I thought we just did this. So let's see, you just cross multiply, you get 32 tablespoons. How many ounces are in a cup? So somebody, how many ounces, how many milliliters are in a cup? How many milliliters are in an ounce? So first thing you're going to write down is 1 cup is 240 milliliters. The next thing you're going to write is 1 ounce is 30 milliliters. So you can do a proportion of putting 1 ounce over 30 milliliters equals question mark ounce over 240. Or you can set it up as the dimensional analysis. The milliliters cancel out and you end up with 8 ounces. How many ounces are in a pint? Once again, we have to return to how many milliliters are in a pint. You have to memorize that. If you don't know by memory, you're not going to have any chance of solving the problem. So it's 480 milliliters. Oh my gosh, I left cup there, but that should read 1 pint is 480. And then an ounce is 30. So we just multiply that across. 480 milliliters times an ounce over 30. And we find out there's 16 ounces in a pint. You'll also memorize that. So the thing is, though, you're going to memorize there's 480 milliliters in a pint. You're going to memorize there's 16 ounces. But if you happen to forget either one of them, if you just remember one, you're able to calculate the other. How many tablespoons are in 1 pint? So again, 1 pint is 480 milliliters. A tablespoon is 15. You can set that up as 1 tablespoon over 15 milliliters equals question mark tablespoons over 480, or you can cross multiply. This is the dimensional analysis. You're going to see this, especially in the book, they use this more than the proportions. Okay, so that's in your, if you go to your Blackboard, if you go to Blackboard, you're going to see that it's in your resources folder. You go to resources and you go down, there's basic conversions, there's your PowerPoint. Now, the next thing I want to make sure you guys are very, very familiar with and know how to take advantage of is your Navigator. So in Navigator Plus, when you go to your pharmacy calculations for each chapter, you're going to see, so chapter 5, guess what? There is a video and it has everything spelled out. It gives you all this information you can read. It shows you how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon, how many tablespoons are in an ounce. So you can handwrite this, copy this down. You can make study cards, but then it gives you this video presentation. What I love about these is you can watch it at your own speed. So you can see for each of the chapters, chapter 4 has, if we go to chapter 4, it has all these tutorial videos. Every single one of the maths, or every one of the math problems that we're working on, it has a step-by-step explanation, and it provides examples as it's giving you the presentation. And what I like again is that you're able to watch it, you're able to pause, you're able to go back, you're able to watch it at your own speed, you're able to watch it as often as you want. Now tonight you're going to go and after this you're going to complete the sampling, the certification exam, and there's only 4 on the math on chapter 4. So there's only 4 or 5. And when you submit them, you will get the correct answers. You're able to retake the exam once you've gone through the correct answers. When it shows you the correct and incorrect answers, it even provides rationale that will explain the correct answer. So with 5, when y'all go to 5, don't be overwhelmed whenever you're going to take the sampling certification exam. It's got a lot of matching. I thought it did. Well, so if it's not there tonight, we'll have it tomorrow night, because there's about 30 questions where you're having to match different proportions, different strengths and conversions. And what it's doing, that's helping prepare you guys for the final. So the final is open note and open book. And you'll find that about probably 60% of the final is math that you had in prep. But you just need a refresher on that. And we're going to do that tomorrow night, and we're going to do it before you take your final on Monday. Now, just for fun, we're going to do a Kahoot. So if you're watching this on your phone, my Kahoot's up here. I can't get to it. So you guys go to www.kahootit. This is the code number. And if you need to leave the Zoom meeting, go ahead and let's do that so you can play the Kahoot game. Well, I'd like to be able to get to play it and listen. But after this, just so I don't go over with the Zoom, I'm going to end the Zoom and I'll start a new session to go over the pharmacology information for tonight.
I'm not seeing the game pin.
I'm 129-8243.
Thank you.
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry, 129843.
Sure. 129-8243. There you go. Very good. So Bree, and I know she's on her phone. So Bree, you just might have to be an observer. So here we go.
No, I'm in.
Oh, are you Ginger or Draco? Okay, oh there.
I'm
Okay,
Draco.
okay, okay. Here we go.
But I also don't see any of the questions on your screen. It's like your screen's frozen for me.
You don't see this right now? Does anybody?
No, it's frozen.
Do y'all see the Kahoot?
It's still on
No,
the
it's
PowerPoint.
frozen.
It's stuck on how many tablespoons in one pint?
Yeah.
Me, anyway.
Oh man. What if y'all go to the Zoom? Are you able to just see it on the Zoom?
No.
I'm in the Zoom.
I think Miss Guillory might be here. Miss Guillory, are you here? If you are here and you know what to do. No.
I don't think she's in here.
Okay, yeah, I don't either. That's a bummer. So we should be able, y'all do not see it, it's just frozen.
It's just completely frozen.
Okay, so like if I come back to, like this is the Navigator Plus. Do y'all see the Navigator Plus on your screen?
No.
Frozen.
Okay, I'm gonna send y'all another Zoom invitation, okay? In this one, let's try it again. We're gonna try again, and hopefully we'll have it. So yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.